Hi everyone, I've just been in for a sea dip this evening with a friend. It was a bit chilly tonight, but I'm nice and cosy with this on now and I've had a hot drink. So I felt inspired tonight to do a video to talk about personal goals. One of my personal goals will be to have a denture that actually fits me so that I can speak properly. How awesome will that be? Since having my 4 teeth removed last summer. And I just think here I am a year down the line and I don't feel any further forward with that side of things. But if you want to know about my dental, what should I call it? Saga story. You can scroll back through my YouTube channel and there's videos covering what happened last year. But anyway, tonight's about personal goals. So there's been a couple of things really. So first of all, I'll start with where I am now. Here at beautiful Teignmouth. So it's become an increasingly important part of my life over the last year probably. It's not far from where I live. And every time I come here, it doesn't matter what the weather is, I just think, how lucky am I to live so close to this place. So it's my happy place, a place I will come to cry, to release emotions, and also to talk for my YouTube channel, because I find it very inspiring and nurturing here, and it helps me share my thoughts easier than being sat at home trying to do some rehearsed video. I'm not very good at rehearsing things. I'm better doing impromptu things, and those people that I've been connected to for a while will no doubt remember my impromptu Facebook lives, which often happened when I was in the middle of washing up or something and something comes in my head and I need to say it. So yeah, the YouTube channel was a new thing for me, and I still find it a bit difficult, but doing it like this isn't so bad. But anyway, here we go. So first of all, the sea dips. For those that don't know, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness in 2011, I think it was, and I'm just looking, there's a bird here. I wish I could swing my camera around because there's a bird here. He's caught a little fish about that big. Oh, it's gone. He's ate it. How beautiful. I wish I could have shared that moment with you. Sorry, I got distracted. So part of this condition, which they call fibromyalgia, means I have a real hypersensitivity to temperature and pressure. So both of these things can cause extreme pain in my body. So a year ago, if I paddled in the sea, and I've repeated myself over this, but it's the best descriptive I can find, it was like somebody was cutting the soles of my feet with a knife. It was so bad. But I forced myself to do that because I remain convinced that the fibro thing is a nervous system dysregulation, a combination of lots of things, trauma, burnout, poor nutrition, stress, lots of things. There isn't just one thing. So I've tried to focus on trying to work with my nervous system more, especially over the last year, probably. And part of that was to try to get my feet used to different temperatures. And actually, I suppose I actually began that 2 years ago, because in 2020 I had sciatica and there were no hands-on therapists open at that time. And my friend in the States was helping me via video to try to help me manage this pain. It was absolutely horrendous. And I'd got ice gel packs, wheat bags, and you name it really. So I suppose that actually was, so 2 years ago, that was when I experimented with temperature more, doing the coldness and the heat. And then it was last year in 2021, I decided when I was in the shower to alternate the temperature of my shower and just direct it onto my feet. So it went from hot to cold, hot to cold. I don't understand the workings of the body. So in my layperson's mind, I'm thinking, I want to confuse my nervous system so it doesn't actually know what's going on. So my pain receptors wouldn't stay in this conditioned way of reacting. So last year I'd be walking in the sea, excruciating pain. And then this year I'm now swimming in the sea. Well, I say swimming, a little bit of swimming, but mainly just treading water and immersing my body in the water to try to reduce my inflammation levels. But also it's a beautiful feeling for me to feel so weightless and to be able to have some movement, because on land I find movement very difficult. I haven't been able to exercise for 11 years. Walking is a problem. I can't walk very far before I have to just stop, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, just to give my muscles a break, because they get over fatigued very quickly. So since June this year, so if you go back over my videos, you'll see my first sea dip. I did a video about that experience and the ones that have followed. And it's incredible. I really didn't believe that I could get in. And my friend in the States reminded me 2.5 years ago, I said to her, I have no memory of this because my memory is shocking. I said to her, if only I could get into my knees, I would be so happy. And she says, wow, and look at you now. And I thought, oh my God, she's right. And I feel really proud of me. So that was one of my personal goals. So, yeah, I used to come here in the winter and I used to sit on this beach and watch people going in the sea, thinking, I'd really love to do that. And I've sat here crying so many times because I just thought, I'm never going to be able to do that. And then a sequence of events this summer has led me to doing it, and I'm blown away by it, and I'm going to do my best to do it in the winter. I really don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm trying not to think about it too much. I'll just see when that time comes. So the other goal I had was to walk to the top of Glastonbury Tor. And for those that don't know, I birthed my shamanic drum in Glastonbury. I had a pull to do that there a few years ago. It's a bit of a strange place, a very weird mix of energies actually, but I do like visiting now and again. So I used to look up the tour and I think, and I used to watch all the videos at solstice and stuff with all the people at the top having a great time. And I'd think, I'm never going to be able to do that. And again, I've shed tears over that. Anyway, this week on Monday, I found myself on a journey from up country going home, and I thought, I'm going to do a detour to Glastonbury because I really felt I needed to decompress and look at some self-care for me that day because I was really struggling. So I went to Glastonbury and I went in the goddess temple, which was lovely, and it had shut 10 minutes before I got there. But the door was open and I said, can I just come in just for 5 minutes? Anyway, they let me in, cut a long story short. And I sat on the sheepskin rugs and then they offered to smudge me and I was just, oh my God, thank you. Because I love my smudging and I really feel the benefits of that and my Florida water that I use. And they both of those tools support me really well. So it had a beautiful smudging session in the goddess temple. Had a gentle stroll around and I thought, I'm going to go to the tour. And I had my drum with me. Now, the last time I went there a year ago, I was with a friend and it was a real struggle for me. And I got to the bit, you have to go up a little bit of a slope just to get to the gate to the field at the bottom of the tour. And by the time I got there, I was hyperventilating. I couldn't hardly breathe, and my legs were spasming, and it was just awful. And I just said, I'm so sorry, I really can't. And we sat on the grass there for a little while, and I felt I'd really let her down, and I was really disappointed in myself. And it was just it felt like another slap in the face of the things that I want to do, but my diagnosed condition prevents me from doing so. And in the past, when I've pushed myself through those moments, I've really paid the price for it. Because some people may say, oh, well, just push through it and go for it, and it's mind over the body and all of that. And I have done that in the past, and I've ended up weeks and weeks of chiropractic adjustments, being bedbound on heavy-duty painkillers. So I'm learning now to listen more to my body, which I'll revisit that in a minute if I can remember to revisit it. Excuse me. So I started making my way up this first field at the tour. I had to stop so many times going up, but I managed to get, it was probably halfway up, I think, and I could see the top, and it felt like I was that close. And then I'm looking at the slope going up to it, and I'm just thinking, there is no way, if I do that, I'm probably not even going to be able to walk back down to the bottom. And it was also at evening time, and I thought, I can't be stranded here in the dark. So instead of beating myself up over it, I just thought, I've made it this far. And I got my drum out and I sat down, and it was the most beautiful moment, just away from everything, and the view was awesome. So I was looking all over the centre of Glastonbury and all the surrounding countryside. And I was, again, so proud of me for getting that far. And I thought, don't focus about you didn't achieve your goal. Look at how far you've come. And I took a really, really slow walk down again, taking loads of breaks. And my legs were suffering quite a bit. And it's took me a few days to sort of recover, really. But because I paced myself and took the time out when I needed to, I managed to get that far. So it may not sound a big deal to some people listening to this, but to me it was massive. So I'm thinking, in 2022, there's two things that I've done that I thought I would never ever do because of my diagnosis. And I felt it was important to share. And I've always been very passionate about sharing my health journey as it's happening, because I really truly believe that one day my health is going to be significantly better. And then it's very difficult for people who are still in that chronic pain place. If I'm trying to encourage people, it's very hard to believe that you can improve your health. And people, I'm thinking, if I just did all this later on and reported back on what I'd done, there's probably, the chronic pain community would be saying she couldn't have been that bad. So that is the reason why I share as I do. And I find my videos difficult because, as you can tell, I do get a bit stuck for words. My mouth and gait and brain don't work together very easily. And the light's fading now. And also I forget words. I get my words muddled up, and then I also forget what I've said, and I repeat a lot of things. But that's me. It's real, it's raw, and it is as it is. And I'm hoping that other people will identify with that, and my story will also encourage them never to give up. So before I go, and it gets totally black here, just to share a little bit about what I said about being more mindful of my body. So I've been working for 18 months with an acupuncturist called Sam, and I've spoke a little bit about this before on my videos. And it started off as acupuncture for pain, and it's just organically flowed into so much more for me. And it's ended up a really trauma-focused therapy for me, because I truly believe that for the majority of people, trauma is at the root of our illness, and sometimes we may not even be aware that we have suppressed trauma or emotions in our body, and we carry on with our busy lives and we push everything down, but it's not healthy. And there's also this feeling of I'm not sure whether other people will be able to relate, but this feeling in your throat of not feeling heard and acknowledged and validated, I think. And I'm finding this particular therapy, it's been the most profound, amazing thing for me. After 30 years of mainstream healthcare for help with my mental health, only in recent years I'm realising the connection between our body and our mind. I follow the work of Gabor Mate, Peter Levine, Stephen Porges. You can look those up. I may put the description in the video link at the end so you can find them. But I've seen by walking the path that I'm doing now, I haven't always understood why I'm doing what I'm doing. And sometimes I've got to say some of it seems pretty nuts and it doesn't make sense to me. But as time's going on, it's all clicking into place to me. And I'm blown away by it. And becoming more mindful of my body with the breath work that we're doing and the, I don't know whether you call it body mapping or body tracking, but when you start getting emotions surface, you tap into where you're feeling it in your body and you work with that feeling, and you don't suppress it down and like go away, I don't want to feel that. And it can be really bloody painful and really traumatic. But if you've got a good therapist to hold space for you, wow, is all I can say. And it's took me over a year to build up trust to get where I am now, and it's been really hard work. I'm not going to make any bones about it. This isn't an easy path, but it's a really, really important one. So that's sort of what I'm doing, and I think, as I say, in this work that I'm doing, it's helping me with other areas of my life, like going to the tour, like going in the sea. I'm developing a different mindset to the way that I approach the things that I do. And the other thing that is really good for me is it's helping me with my boundaries and my personal space. And I'm also doing an amazing workshop with horses. And that's teaching me a lot of things. I'm only in session 3. But that was all about boundaries this last week. And entitlement. Now, when I hear the word entitlement, it feels very demanding and not a good energy. But in actual fact, it isn't about that. We are entitled to not be abused. We are entitled to be shown compassion. We're entitled to peace in our life. These are basic human needs. And if we end up on the receiving end of others, if other people get triggered and then hurl abuse at us, we need to look at our reactions and think, is this about me or is this about them? And this is really important, and I've been doing it more and more over the last couple of months. And sometimes, for me as well, being misjudged is a real big trigger because of my past campaigning work and other areas of my life. So being misjudged is a biggie. And this need to stand up for yourself and defend yourself no matter what, because somebody's got you wrong. But what I'm learning now is sometimes it doesn't matter what you say people are not going to hear you. So you will have expended all that energy, got really upset, and with me, when I get like that, it physically manifests in my body. So now my mindset is, and this is, say, from the work that I've been doing, is I have to withdraw myself from that situation. I am not prepared to tolerate abusive or aggressive behaviour towards me. So that's a self-care lesson for me, and it's really difficult when it doesn't come easy. But the more I'm doing it, the more valuable I'm seeing that practice to be. So just stand in your truth, and if you know you're a good person, you wouldn't intentionally hurt anybody. That's it, isn't it? I mean, we all have fallouts with people. But then you talk about it and you resolve it in a gentle and calm way. You don't carry on gaslighting and fueling the fire. And it's all about discernment of identifying when you need to walk away. So that's it really. I don't quite know how that came into personal goals, but it felt really important to share that with you, because these are high energy times, and especially after the last few years, a lot of people are feeling very vulnerable. There's a lot of stress around, a lot of worry. So just be kind to one another. And but back to personal goals, find something that you would really like to achieve, and do your best to reach your goal, because you'll feel amazing when you do. And then each time you revisit it, you can, if you can't achieve the goal in full, just keep revisiting it, and each time give yourself a pat on the back for how much farther you've come. So that's it really. I'm going to head home now because it's getting really dark. I'm sorry that was a bit of a long one and it went off on a bit of a tangent, but for whatever reason I trust that I was meant to share that, and that I hope it helps somebody out there. So you all take care, and I'll catch up with you soon. Lots of love. Bye.